begin our simulcast. I'm so excited to be here today. This weekend, okay, so last week it was crazy. Welcome. Let me just welcome everybody here on YouTube. Welcome to Sound Bath Sundays. Yet another Sunday. I can say, yay, showing up, keeping it up every single Sunday. I am so excited. I love being here, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Oh my gosh. Okay, so last week, the energies, right? I had a couple of days that I was like, ooh, I just want to check out. I'm not happy. I was just not happy. And I couldn't figure out why, right? I'm so blessed. I get to do what I love every single day. I do this, I do my voiceover work, I do my directing, and I was just up-leveling. Sometimes we ask for things and we believe, well, at least, okay, let me talk about my experience. I ask for things from the universe, and I believe that they should all come for free. It's like, just because I'm here, and I'm asking nicely, and I should get the stuff. And I keep forgetting that things really have a cost to them. And I think that what happened to me last week, I got a really clear vision this morning while I was doing my meditation, that I've just not paid in advance for what I've asked for. And that is something that is so important that we have to keep in mind. We also ask for things, and then we don't give clear direction to the universe. And I believe that the universe is so wise that the universe or God will know better what I need. But then when I get in the middle, when I get things, Damiana, hi, welcome. I'm not happy. I complain. I'm like, oh, this is not what I asked for, or I didn't want to go through any discomfort. And even though I am so much better at living a life of much more ease, it doesn't mean we're not going to have the challenges. Like, the challenges never go away, right? I love the hearts. Damiana, thank you. The challenges never ever disappear. It is how we deal with the challenges that give us the ease. When we have the tools, we apply the tools, then things get easier. Yes, every single time. However, we are given things, success lies right outside of our comfort zone. And so the quicker we get used to knowing that it's better to get used to our discomfort. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you, Damiana. It is when we begin to feel comfort in the discomfort, it becomes a familiar place to be. And we'll be able to break through that discomfort to get to the next level. And then when we get to the next level, then we should really just enjoy. And there's no shoulds, but when you get to that breakthrough, instead of just doing check, done, and move on to the next challenge, if we stop for a moment, because we can, and if anyone here believes that we cannot, just look at what's happened in the past 3 months. Forced, willingly, however it was, we all stopped, completely stopped, right? Completely stopped everything we were doing. Everybody was like, okay, drop everything. Have you ever been taking a test when they said, drop your pencil, you're done, you can't do anymore? That's what happened to us. We were there, we were like in our hamster wheel, right? And everybody was knocked off their hamster wheel. Some of us had been doing the work, and we were able to handle this a lot better than others. The ones who didn't do their work had a heck of a time. And the fear was rampant. Remember, I said we get stupid when there's so much fear, but it is a perfect time to look back and see that after everything, you're still here. And how you handle things. And remember at the beginning, I said, I'm doing this because I want everybody to be able to look back and say, man, I did a good job. I feel proud of how I handled this. And we can stop. We can say, okay, let me just enjoy the gifts that life is giving me. Let me just feel grateful for everything I've got, for how I handled things. And let me enjoy life more, because we get so focused on the things that we think will give us on the future, right? When I get this, I'll be happy. When I'll do this, I'll be happy. If I get the boyfriend, if I get the house, if I get the job, if I get in the future. So we never stop to say, gosh, I'm so happy now. Thank you. How can I be happy now with what I've got? And when we do that, then the blessings just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming, because I always say that the spark, the magic happens when the joyful giver meets a grateful receiver. So the universe, God, wants to gift us, but God will give to the ones that are grateful. So the more grateful we are for everything, and the challenge becomes being grateful for everything, even the things we call bad, right? So today's theme is, in order to receive God's blessings, we have to let go of what we're holding on to. We've got to let go. So how many of us are going through life walking around with our garbage bags of everything that went wrong, of all the bad relationships, all the failed relationships, all the bad jobs, the bad bosses, the bad friends, the bad family members, the blah, 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 blah. Right? And we keep carrying stuff around as if they were our biggest treasures. And have you ever taken the garbage out of your house and gone through every bit of it before you throw it out? No, right? You grab your garbage, you take it out, and it's done, out of your life. But no, with situations and our experiences, we seem to want to be carrying them around. And so if you're carrying around garbage bags, how can God give you anything? You don't have a hand to hold on to the new thing. And so we hold on to relationships, or relationships that didn't work, or people that we wish would have been different, but they weren't, or that person that betrayed you, that now has made you afraid of ever opening your heart again because of fear of betrayal, or that boss that treated you badly, or the one that fired you unjustly, or the one that treated you badly, or the bully that abused you, or the ideas of how you see life that maybe not necessarily serve you anymore, that weren't even yours in the first place. How many of us, well, I believe we're all born into an idea or a set of ideas in a setting that we just take those ideas as ours, those beliefs. And the beliefs depend on where you were born on the planet, what country, what family, what religion, what number child you were on the list. If you were the firstborn, or the baby, or the middle of the sandwich baby, right? Or if if your parents were together because they were together, if they got divorced because they were divorced, if you moved around a lot because you moved around a lot, if you only stayed in one place because it was just boring and you stayed in one place. But we always seem to find in our beliefs and in our set of things, the things that were like, oh, this was so bad for me, and it was just what it was. But we also accept a set of beliefs that maybe don't serve us anymore. For example, the idea that this is a dog eat dog world, that we had to step over others. Like some people have that idea, right? That they have to step over other people to get ahead. And that is just not the case. There is, when we wake up to the fact that the universe is ever abundant, infinitely abundant, and there is just more than enough abundance for every single one, we can let go of the idea of competition. Of, oh, that client belongs to me, that client belongs to me, or our idea of possessiveness or possession, right? Some of us hang on to how good times were in the past, you know, when they call it the good old times, right? And we keep reliving or trying to relive in our minds situations that were either good, bad, or regular, whatever we want to judge them. And every single one of those things, it takes us out of the present moment. And when we awaken to, oh, well, maybe this idea doesn't serve me. Maybe I can let go of this. And we focus on what we would like our life to be, and we realize that we're at cost. We are at cost in everything that happens. And if we have things showing up right now that we don't like, all we've got to do is make a different choice, and we will change those things, because whatever we're living today is the consequence of our past thoughts and our past beliefs. Now, here's the thing. There are things that we know that we know. There are things that we know that we don't know. And there are the things that we don't know that we don't know. And so the things that you know, it's like, well, yeah, I know basic math or maybe calculus, or, you know, I know certain things. And there are the things that I know that I don't know. I know that I don't know, like maybe advanced chemistry or politics or whatever it is that you don't know. But there are the things that stick us the most are the things that we don't know that we don't know. Those things that are embedded in our subconscious mind that keep us in our hamster wheel, trying to get off of the hamster wheel. Hola, Mari, Leti. Out of our hamster wheel, and we just can't seem to get off, and we don't know why we can't get off of them, because we just don't know what it is that is holding us back. And see, there are ways of getting rid of those things, which are now, it's getting easier and easier. We're kind of coming in and awakening to more techniques and more tools that are available to us in order to clear all these things so that we can be just set free. But I believe that one of the most powerful tools that, at least that I have found for myself, is when I begin to be grateful for everything, especially the things that I think are bad. When the universe gives me a play that I would have rather not have had. When the universe gives me a situation that I wish with all my heart I could have avoided, or that I wish I could have, I wouldn't have ever had to live through that. Or when I live through stuff and I go, oh dear Lord, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, which I don't have any. Things like that we say. Right? I just literally caught myself saying that. I'm like, wait a second, I don't have any enemies. How could I have worst enemy if I have no enemies? Like, why would I wish that on myself? And that is literally a programming of a saying that was said around me that I just picked up. I'm like, ooh, interesting. I don't have any enemies. Why would I want my worst enemy? But I wouldn't want anybody to go through these situations. And then when I look back on them and I see how much I grew out of it, when I see that, oh my gosh, this happened, but then this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and now I'm here in the most amazing place. And I understand that if that thing that I labeled horrible didn't happen, then I wouldn't be here. And then everything takes a different perspective. And so I always say it's very easy to have faith when things are going well. And people say, no, it's the other way around. It's when things are bad that people have faith. And I'm like, no. We have faith when things are going well, because it's like, life is good, I'm great, it's amazing. But when things go bad, haven't you ever felt like, oh God, did you forget about me? Why do I have to be going through this? What did I do? We go into, oh my God, what did I do to be having to go through this? And why are you punishing me? And it's very difficult to think when we're going through a bad time that you're being gifted a gift. Believe you me, right? It's like, how can this possibly be a gift? I'm suffering so much. But it's out of those challenges that we grow so much. So when we strengthen our faith, no matter what is happening, and we are able to say, I believe that everything that happens for me and not against me. I believe that the universe, in its mysterious ways, is arranging everything so that I can get to where I need to go. Maybe it's shaking my world up so that I can wake up and realize that I need to change things. Maybe I wasn't happy in this place, but I just stayed there because maybe I made a promise and I felt like I had to keep going no matter what, right? Because we're also programmed. For example, I was programmed by the religion that I adopted, that when I got married, it was forever and ever till death do me part. And because I made a promise, I kept staying in a place that was so destructive for me, because I kept thinking, I can't break my promise. This is till death do me part. And have you ever met anyone who was in such a terrible place that they felt they couldn't go out or get out of it, that they end up dying? Because the only way out is to die, because you say till death do me part, so I'm gonna die because that's the only way I can get out of it. And so I believe that God had other plans for me, because had I stayed in this marriage, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't trade here for the world. But in order to get here, I had to go through hell and back, like so many of you have had to. And so if right now there's a lot of people suffering from this whole thing that happened, and if you're one of those individuals, those beautiful souls that are aching and suffering, all I can tell you is that it does get better. I always think of life as a Ferris wheel. We're all going to be up and we're all going to be down at one point or another. And the thing is that when you're down, if you remember that you were up, and you remember that every time you went down, after the down part came the up part, it gives you fuel to keep going. And I believe that we all, or at least I believe that every time I'm up, I kind of remember, okay, this is not forever. Let me enjoy it while I'm here. until it lasts. And I believe as that happens, the space of being in this great place gets wider and wider. We don't have the ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. We manage to stay up a lot more time. I feel like one amazing surfer, right? That those guys that ride the waves in Hawaii and Punta Mita and all these places that are there are amazingly huge waves, and the guys that have mastered this have hit the wave so many times, have swallowed so much salt water and got hit so many times, but they finally got to the point where they master these waves, and they just go riding and surfing on the wave for so much longer than the rest. And I think that we're being given the tools to be able to ride the waves for so much longer. And it is my joy and my pleasure to share, hi Lauren, to share the sound with you all, because sound has literally transformed my life. It has created so much more stability in my emotions. I found out recently that I'm what's called an emotional authority, if you're familiar with human design, which I wasn't until very recently. And I was like, really, no kidding, emotional me? I don't know what you're talking about. It's like the one thing that one of my coaches told me was my superpower. I was like so mad. I'm like, how can this be my superpower? I'm a crazy woman with all these emotions all over the place. And it's like, yeah, but I realized that, okay, I need to rein them in. I need to kind of just kind of bring them into alignment here. And it's okay to have them, but use them in a way that they're going to be fuel instead of drowning me out, right? And so that's why my fervent search for tools to be able to be emotionally intelligent and be able to know, it's like, okay, I caught a wave and I didn't catch it too well, and I'm like swallowing a bit of salt water, but I know eventually I'm gonna come out. So this weekend in particular, we've had this overnight, right? Starting last night at 5:44 Eastern Standard Time, we had the summer solstice, the beginning of a new season. We had the new moon, which is the time to sow our seeds. And then we had the annular eclipse, where the sun and the moon came together in a marriage and giving us that balance between the male and the female energies, which is everything that we're all been striving for. Thank you for the hearts. Hi, Nicole. And it is the waves of love that have been pouring in. I've been feeling them the entire weekend. I've had the most magical day starting Friday. Yesterday was just, things happened in my life that was just like, oh my gosh. I had asked for signs. I had asked for confirmation about things, about people that have come into my life recently. And I was like, I'm not sure about this. Can I please get a sign? And I have gotten the most incredible signs. And all I can say is, when we are willing to set down the garbage bags, put them out, let everything go that no longer serves us, and then take all of the attention outside of the garbage bags, leave the garbage bags alone, and focus on what we want. Put our energy, our focus, our attention onto what we'd like to have. And then connect to that knowing that if we focus on what we like to have for long enough, these things have no other option but to show up. The challenge is keeping our attention on them, because we're like squirrel, right? Something new comes up, and we forget that we were looking for this thing in the first place. So there is a story that I was told many years ago that I love, and it's about our desires, and that when we have a desire, a red light bulb turns on our head, or a light, right? And the angels who are wanting to give us our desires go, oh, lights on, let's go see desire. And they're like, let's get the universe, okay, she wants this or he wants this, and starts creating the whatever symphony they need to create so that we get our desire. But then something happens and squirrel, right? And then we're like, oh, maybe this is not showing up. It's taking too long. Why is it not showing up? And hi, Julia. And then we go, okay, let me ask for this then. Or let me lower maybe what I was asking for too much. Well, if you're asking for too much, then it would stand to reason that it maybe would take longer to make, right? The more complicated the cake, the longer it might take to bake and be ready, right? If you're, putting the decorations on your cake, the cake might take the same time to bake, but then the decorations might take longer depending on the complexity of the cake, right? If you want just a plain cake, one thing, or if you want, a cake with 1,000 steps on it, or whatever they're called, layers, and flowers made out of whatever it's called, right? It's going to take forever. But we kind of lose our patience. So then the light turns off. And then the angels lose us. They're like looking down. It's like the light went off. And they're like, okay, stop the machines. And so all the gears, stop the universe. And it's like, oh no, now she wants this. Start them up again. Like, but turn around, make the shift, and now let's get them that. But how many desires have you had that haven't happened? And could it be that you just didn't hold on for long enough? I've been called stubborn many times in my life. I prefer the word persistent. But I believe that sometimes when your heart calls out and it's telling you this is what you must do, I believe that we all know it. Except we keep pressing the snooze button and saying, I'll take care of it later. It's too hard right now. It's not convenient right now. I could never do that. This is dreaming too big. How many of us have felt that way? And felt that whatever it is that our soul is calling for is either too much, too hard, too whatever. And right now, I don't know how much it was, how much you in particular, each person came face to face with the impermanence of our lives. I was saying when the pandemic hit at the beginning, I was like, what was different from yesterday? Because people are like, we're gonna die. Oh my God, we're all gonna die. And I was like, yeah, yesterday we were all gonna die because we're already all dying, right? Every day we live, we're like, we're already all dying. But it was like we were thrown face to face with like, oh my God, we really may all die. And it's like, yeah, but every day we're not thinking that. We're going around pretending that we're here forever, pretending that we have forever to make up our mind, forever to make a choice to live from our heart, to give the gift that was given to us and share it with others. Because ultimately, that's the only thing that will make us happy, because we've all been given gifts. And Wayne Dyer used to say, don't die with your music still in you. And that is so true. So many of us go through life thinking, oh, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow. And throughout these months, many of us realize, okay, there's no more I'll do it tomorrow, because it is so imminent that I could just die from this. And what will happen, right? Will we come to the end of our lives and be like, good job, or oh Lord, I wasted time on all these stupid things, on all these stupid worries, on all these stupid things that ultimately, in the whole scheme of things, do not matter. And I forsook, I don't know what the word would be. I have no idea how to conjugate forsaken. Did I forsake? I guess forsake my happiness for the ideas and the beliefs of the things that I thought were my obligations and that I needed to do in order to bring money to my house or take care of my family or whatever we thought was an obligation. So when we tap into that knowing, we tap into our soul and we know what would make us really happy, and we start taking it, even the slightest, teeniest little step towards it, our soul begins to awaken and be happy. And then we can tune into our knowing, which annihilates belief. That knowing of, okay, this is what I have to do no matter what, and be persistent no matter what, and keep at it no matter what. If it's the last thing I do, I'm just going to make this work. And when there's that level of conviction and that level of commitment, then life is good, because you are here giving your gift. And there's a saying that I love, and it says, what you are is your gift from God. And what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So when we begin to give of ourselves first, then the universe will be so happy to shower us with all the blessings for being courageous, for stepping up to our fear, and no matter what, kept going, no matter what, kept showing up and giving our gift to the world for ourselves, not for anybody else. This is not to save the world. We are not here to save anyone. We are here to be happy and to do what's right for us without obviously hurting anybody else. But when we just take full responsibility for ourselves, life becomes so much easier, because we don't have to take responsibility for anybody else. So we can stop criticizing, judging, directing the band, and telling everybody else what to do, which is so much fun because it's so much easier. And we can just turn it around and look this way and go, okay, well, what do I have to do now? What is it that I need to do? Where is it that I'm being afraid of not showing up? What is it that I'm being feeling that I'm too small for my dream? What is it that I feel that I'm not good enough, not worthy enough, and whatever it is? And say, okay, well, that has nothing to do with it. This is my gift. This is what I need to give to the world. I feel it. My soul is calling, and I'm just going to follow my soul's calling. And then, believe me, when I tell you, this world will be a different place. And we're well on our way. Even though things seem like they're falling apart, they are. The things that don't work are falling apart. The things that work are rising, are sprouting like crazy, because for everything that seems horrible, unfair, unjust, cruel, if we look, and if we really look, we will realize that there's not 10 more things that are amazing, but hundreds of things that are amazing, that are sprouting up. But because we have that tendency to look at the white wall and just look at that darn black dot in the middle of it, it's like that makes us crazy. Then that dot all of a sudden takes up all of our attention. But if we just take a little bit of a step back, we will see that there's a big, big white wall, and that speck really every day gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So I wish you to open your heart, let go of what no longer serves you, and take your attention and put it on whatever your heart calls you to do. and you will be so much happier. I just realized that I was showing my house because it's up for sale, and Harry was left upstairs. So I'm going to leave you here for a moment, and I'm going to go get Harry. In the meantime, please go ahead, place your feet flat on the ground, place your palms face up on your thighs, and I would like for you, by the time I go up and come down with him, you'll do at least 3 cleansing breaths, but keep doing more, 6, 9. Today we're going to extend it a little bit. Breathe in through your nose, hold for 1 or 2 counts, and then exhale with a big sigh. And today, visualize with every exhale that you're just letting go, releasing anything and everything that no longer serves you. Whether you know that it doesn't serve you, whether you know that you don't know, or whether you don't know that you don't know. It doesn't matter what it is, just intend for all the things that are in your way of blooming to just dissolve away. And I'll be right back. So we're back. Zipper is giving me a hard time. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hey, Harry. Whew. Okay. So, welcome all the beautiful, loving energies. Om Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti. Take a deep inhale, hold for a second, and release with a big sigh. Keep your eyes closed, palms open. Connect to your biggest desire. Turn that light bulb on so the angels can see, and get busy real quick at bringing your desires to you. When you're ready, take one more breath. And on your own time, come back when you're ready. Wiggle your toesies. Do a little stretch. And open your eyes. Hola, Susie. I hope you're feeling fantastic this morning. It is a perfect time to really take care of ourselves, to really enjoy life in every moment. If you guys are interested, I am having an amazing activation, a clearing and an activation and a sound healing this afternoon at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested, send me a message. I'll send you all the information about it. I am so excited. It's going to be epic. And if something calls you to be there for your dreams, for your desires, we're literally clearing your soul so that we can sow the seeds of our dreams in a clean slate, and charging it with love, with everything that your dreams will need to grow and bloom in the most amazing. Oh, Marie, she's repeating after everything I say. I love her. Marie's telling me over on Facebook that her daughter, she's tiny, is repeating after everything I say. That's wonderful. So if you are so called to join our beautiful community of amazing beings, I we'll all welcome you with open hearts and open arms. And I will see you later, or I will see you next week on another episode of Sound Bath Sundays. Thank you so much.